The station floated silently above a blue-green planet, a shining city in the darkness of space. Towering spires of metal and glass reflected the distant star, and the hum of the station's engines kept it steady in orbit. Aliens of every shape and size moved along the wide avenues, their scales, feathers, and skin glowing faintly in the ambient light. The city was alive with music, chatter, and the energy of an empire that had ruled the stars for centuries. At the heart of this city, in a palace built of shimmering crystal, the queen prepared for her ceremonial inspection. She was a figure of grace and authority, taller than most, with luminous eyes that seemed to see everything at once. Today she was expected to walk through the central square, greeting her citizens and overseeing the construction of a new energy tower. The entire station buzzed with excitement at the queen's presence. Among those tasked with protecting her was a human guard named Marcus. Humans were a rare presence on this alien station, but Marcus had earned the trust of the elite protection unit. His training combined the best of human physical skill, intuition, and careful observation. While the aliens relied heavily on advanced technology and energy shields, Marcus depended on his eyes, ears, and instincts. Today, those instincts would be tested more than ever. As the queen descended the grand staircase of her palace, the crowd erupted into cheers. Marcus walked close behind her, scanning the crowd for any sign of danger. Everything seemed calm. There were no unusual movements, no abnormal energy spikes, yet something in the way the queen held herself made him alert. Her steps were slightly uneven, and she paused for just a moment too long at the bottom of the staircase. The first gasp came quietly, almost unnoticed. Then, as the queen took her first step into the central square, her knees buckled. Marcus reacted instantly. He darted forward, catching her before she could hit the ground. The crowd froze, the music stopped, and the vibrant energy of the square turned to stunned silence. The queen's eyes widened in surprise, and she looked at Marcus with a mixture of shock and curiosity. Her voice, calm but firm, asked, "What happened?" Marcus knelt beside her, examining her carefully. "Your Majesty, you collapsed. I am not sure why yet, but you are safe now." The healers who rushed forward were puzzled. They scanned the queen with their devices, yet no trace of illness, poison, or energy imbalance appeared. Marcus noticed a faint glow beneath the edge of her ceremonial robe. It was subtle, almost invisible to the alien devices, but to a human eye trained to notice patterns, it seemed out of place. The crowd, composed of thousands of aliens, murmured in confusion. Whispers spread quickly. Some claimed the queen was cursed. Others suspected foul play. Marcus, however, stayed focused. He had learned long ago that panic could spread faster than reason. He gestured for the healers to step back and gently moved the queen to a nearby platform. "Please remain calm," he said. His voice carried over the square, steady and authoritative. "The queen is safe. We will find the cause." The queen looked at him, her eyes sharp and thoughtful. "You believe this is not an accident?" she asked. Marcus shook his head. "I do not know yet, Your Majesty, but I noticed something unusual." He pointed discreetly at the faint glow beneath her robe. The queen's eyes narrowed. "Show me," she said, her voice commanding but measured. Marcus led her and the healers to a quiet chamber within the palace. He examined the area beneath her robe carefully, using only his hands and a small portable light. Sure enough, there was a tiny device embedded in the fabric. It was delicate, no bigger than a fingernail and pulsed with soft energy. Marcus held it up for the queen to see. "This device is not part of your ceremonial attire," he said. "It seems to have caused your sudden collapse." The queen examined it closely. "Who would do this? And why?" Marcus frowned. "That is what we need to find out. But it is clever and well hidden. It could be the work of someone trying to harm you without anyone noticing." The healers attempted to remove the device, but their tools were too crude. It seemed fused to the fabric with technology they had never seen before. Marcus studied it carefully. The device had faint lines of energy running through it, almost like a miniature circuit. He had seen similar devices on the fringes of human exploration, though never this advanced. "Your Majesty," he said, "we must be careful. This is sophisticated technology, not meant to be removed recklessly. It may trigger something if tampered with incorrectly." The queen nodded, her expression serious. "Then we will proceed with caution. You will help me, Marcus. I trust your judgment." The human guard felt a surge of responsibility. This was no longer a routine protective duty. This was a matter of life and death, and he had to act quickly but wisely. He studied the device, noting its energy pattern, its placement, and the way it interacted with the Queen's natural energy field. Meanwhile, the city outside was abuzz with speculation. Aliens whispered in the streets, in the markets, and in their homes. Rumors spread about assassins, curses, and hidden enemies. Marcus knew that any public panic could be dangerous. The Queen's collapse was more than a personal crisis. It could destabilize the station if the wrong ideas took hold. He turned to the Queen. "We must keep this quiet for now. Only those who need to know should be aware of the device. If the wrong person finds out, they may try again." The Queen looked at him with respect. "Very well. You will lead this investigation, Marcus. Find the source and the purpose of this device." Marcus nodded, determined. He had trained for emergencies, but this was unlike anything he had encountered before. Alien politics were complex and the potential consequences were enormous. Yet he knew that human ingenuity often came from simple observation and careful reasoning. This would be his strength. As night fell over the station, the floating city glimmered like a jewel in the dark. The Queen rested in her private chambers under the watch of Marcus and a few trusted healers. Marcus could not sleep. He examined the device repeatedly, making careful notes, comparing it to everything he knew about human and alien technology. He realized something important. The device was not designed to harm the Queen physically. Instead, it seemed to interfere with her energy balance, causing a temporary collapse. This meant whoever created it understood the Queen's physiology deeply. It was not a random attack. It was targeted, precise, and potentially part of a larger plan. Marcus thought about the implications. If this was a plot, the enemy could be anywhere, even within the palace. The human mind often solved problems through careful logic and pattern recognition, skills he now had to use to protect the Queen. He began forming a strategy. First, identify the nature of the device. Second, trace its origin. Third, uncover the person or group responsible. He also realized that trust would be critical. Not everyone in the palace could be trusted immediately. Aliens were clever, and some might hide their intentions behind politeness and duty. Marcus would need to observe carefully, rely on his instincts, and act without creating panic. Hours passed as he worked, analyzing, sketching, and planning. The device remained a mystery, but the first pieces of the puzzle were coming together. Marcus knew that the Queen's life, and perhaps the stability of the entire station, depended on solving it. By dawn, the Queen rose, calm and composed. She had always been strong, but today she looked at Marcus with a new respect. "You acted quickly," she said. "I trust your skills. Find out what this means, Marcus. I will not let my people be endangered by hidden threats." Marcus nodded. "I will not fail, Your Majesty." As the first light of the star glinted off the towers of the floating city, Marcus prepared for the challenge ahead. Somewhere in the heart of this grand station was the secret behind the Queen's sudden fall. He would find it using every ounce of human skill, courage, and ingenuity. The station was silent, yet alive with hidden dangers. And Marcus, a single human among thousands of aliens, would soon prove that human intuition and determination could change the course of events in ways no alien technology could predict. The morning sun reflected off the towers of the floating station, casting long, shimmering shadows across the streets. The Queen moved with her usual grace, though today she carried a thoughtful expression. Marcus walked beside her, keeping a careful watch on the palace halls. Every corner, every corridor could hold secrets, and he needed to notice them before anyone else did. The tiny device that had caused the Queen's collapse still rested under careful examination in a secure chamber. Marcus had spent hours analyzing it, making sketches and notes. It was unlike anything he had seen. Its design was delicate and precise, with energy channels that pulsed softly. It did not match any known alien technology in the palace. Marcus suspected it came from somewhere far beyond the station's usual contacts. The Queen paused in the corridor and turned to him. "Marcus, do you believe this is the work of outsiders or someone from inside the station?" Marcus studied her for a moment. "Your Majesty, I cannot say for certain yet. But the device shows knowledge of your physiology. Whoever did this has studied you very closely. That suggests someone with access to the palace or detailed records." Her eyes narrowed. "Then the threat could be closer than we expect." Marcus nodded. He felt the weight of his responsibility. Protecting the Queen was one thing, but uncovering hidden threats in a foreign culture required more than strength. It required patience, observation, and careful reasoning. They entered a secure chamber where the alien healers were gathered around the device. The Queen gestured for them to step back, and Marcus began examining it again. He traced the faint energy lines with his fingers, noting how they interacted with the Queen's energy field. "This is not just a trap or weapon," he explained. "It is a transmitter. Whoever created it wanted to send a signal, likely to communicate with someone else." The collapse was a side effect. The healers exchanged uncertain looks. "We have never seen such technology," one said. "It is beyond our current understanding." Marcus nodded. "That is why we must think differently. Sometimes human methods work where advanced technology does not. We need to trace the signal, understand its origin." The Queen watched him with interest. "Then do so, Marcus. But be cautious. If there is a plot, it may be hidden behind layers of deception. You must act without alerting those who wish harm." Marcus agreed. He knew this would require subtlety. The station was home to thousands of aliens, each with their own ambitions, alliances, and secrets. Any misstep could trigger a crisis. He decided to start with what he knew, the device. Using a small portable analyzer that he had brought from the human sector, Marcus scanned the device again. He noted tiny variations in energy pulses, subtle frequencies that the alien scanners could not detect. It was delicate work requiring steady hands and sharp concentration. Hours passed. Marcus slowly pieced together a pattern. The device's signal seemed to point toward a restricted section of the station, an area rarely visited by anyone except the high-ranking officials. He realized that whoever planted it had access to places most people could not enter. That evening, Marcus approached the Queen in her private chambers. "Your Majesty, I believe I have identified a location connected to the device. It is in a restricted area beneath the station. If my observation is correct, we may find evidence there of who placed it." The Queen nodded. "Then we must act swiftly. I will accompany you if needed. Your insight has already proven valuable." Marcus appreciated her trust. He knew that human reasoning was respected in a station filled with beings who relied on advanced technology. This was unusual, but it gave him a chance to uncover the truth. The next morning, Marcus and the Queen discreetly entered the lower levels of the station. These areas were dimly lit, filled with winding corridors and maintenance tunnels. Aliens rarely traveled here, and the quiet made it easier to notice anything out of place. Marcus led the way, scanning for energy anomalies, hidden panels, and any signs of unauthorized activity. The Queen followed closely, her senses alert. She had trained for leadership and diplomacy, but Marcus realized that her curiosity and focus made her a keen observer in unexpected ways. After some time, Marcus noticed a faint glow behind a maintenance panel. It was small, but it pulsed with the same energy pattern as the device. He gestured for the Queen to stay back and carefully opened the panel. Inside, there were tiny wires and microtransmitters all linked to a concealed chamber. "This is it," Marcus whispered. "Someone has been using this area to monitor and control devices in the palace." The Queen's eyes widened. "Then we are close to finding the source. Be careful, Marcus. Whoever did this may be waiting for us." They moved slowly into the chamber. It was small, filled with equipment that Marcus had never seen before. Screens displayed the palace in real time, showing the Queen's movements and energy fields. The micro-device that caused her collapse had been linked to this chamber. Someone had been observing her every step. Marcus crouched to examine the equipment. He realized that the technology was far advanced, but it had a flaw. The signals were slightly delayed. A human observation could detect the pattern and predict the origin. Marcus quickly traced the connections using a combination of human reasoning and careful calculation. "The signals originate from here, but they are routed through multiple nodes," he explained. "This is an attempt to hide the source. Whoever did this wanted it to look like an accident or malfunction. But the pattern is too precise. Someone is trying to manipulate events." The Queen stepped closer. "Then we must act wisely. We cannot accuse without proof, but we can gather evidence and catch the responsible party." Marcus agreed. "I have a plan. We will monitor this chamber, record every signal and analyze each one. That will lead us to the person controlling the devices. Once we have proof, we can confront them without endangering the station or you." For several days, Marcus worked tirelessly. He documented the energy patterns, compared them to the devices in the palace, and mapped the paths through the hidden tunnels. The Queen allowed him access to records of visitors and staff, helping him identify anyone who had the opportunity to plant the device. One evening, Marcus noticed a familiar energy signature. It matched a staff member who had been responsible for ceremonial arrangements. This person had access to the Queen's robes, her chambers, and even her private schedule. Marcus realized that the conspiracy was closer than anyone had imagined. He shared his findings with the Queen. "Your Majesty, the evidence points to someone with direct access to you. They are clever, patient, and precise, but we have a chance to uncover the full plan before they can act again." The Queen's expression was serious but composed. "Then we will proceed carefully. Your judgment has been invaluable, Marcus. Continue your work, and I will ensure that no one interferes." Marcus felt a sense of purpose. He was not just a guard. He was an investigator, a protector, and a strategist. Human skills of observation, reasoning, and persistence were proving essential in an alien society that relied on advanced technology. He spent the next day reviewing security logs, interviewing staff discreetly, and cross-referencing the information with the energy signals. Slowly, a pattern emerged. The device was not random. It was part of a coordinated plan to destabilize the Queen's authority. Whoever designed it understood the palace's systems, her habits, and the station's weaknesses. Marcus realized that confronting this threat would require more than cleverness. It would require courage, timing, and the ability to anticipate the conspirators' next move. He began formulating a strategy to catch them in the act while protecting the Queen. At night, he stood on the balcony of the palace, looking out over the glowing city. The floating towers reflected the starlight, but beneath the beauty, danger lurked. Marcus knew that the coming days would test everything he had learned as a human guard. Yet he also knew that humans could accomplish extraordinary things, even in a world filled with beings more powerful and technologically advanced than himself. The Queen joined him, her presence calm and reassuring. "Marcus, you have done more than any guard could be expected to do. The station owes you gratitude, and I owe you trust. Together we will uncover this threat." Marcus nodded. "Your Majesty, I will not fail. The conspiracy will be revealed, and the station will remain safe under your rule. Human skill and careful observation can achieve what technology alone cannot." As the stars shone over the floating city, Marcus felt a quiet determination. The investigation had only begun, but he was confident that with patience, courage, and insight, the hidden threat could be uncovered. Somewhere within the station, the conspirators were unaware that their careful plan was unraveling. A human guard had noticed the smallest details, traced the energy patterns, and began to reveal the secret behind the Queen's sudden fall. The first steps of the investigation were complete. Marcus had found the threads that would lead to the truth, and the Queen had a protector she could trust implicitly. The balance of the station, and perhaps the fate of the Queen, now rested on the careful uncovering of the plot that lurked in the shadows. The hidden tunnels beneath the floating station were quiet and dark. Only the soft hum of the energy conduits broke the silence. Marcus moved carefully, his senses alert to every sound and every shadow. The device that had caused the Queen's sudden collapse was now connected to a larger network, and he was determined to trace it to its source. The Queen had trusted him to lead this investigation, but she stayed behind in the palace for now. Marcus knew that some parts of the station were too dangerous for anyone else. The conspirators had gone to great lengths to hide their activities, and one wrong step could alert them. As Marcus followed the faint energy traces, he realized the network led to a section of the station rarely accessed by anyone. The corridors twisted and turned, filled with maintenance doors, storage rooms, and dead ends. Yet, using his keen observation skills, he noticed subtle signs of recent activity. Footprints in the dust, displaced panels, and faint scratches near the walls. "This area is active," he muttered to himself. "Someone is working here, even if the rest of the station does not know." He paused at a junction where the energy pattern split in two directions. One path led deeper into the maintenance tunnels, while the other led to what seemed like a sealed chamber. Marcus examined both paths carefully. The sealed chamber emitted a slightly stronger signal, and he suspected it held the key to the entire operation. Carefully, he approached the sealed door. The panel beside it required an access code. something Marcus could not simply bypass. He crouched and studied the wiring and energy flow around the lock. His experience with human technology and pattern recognition gave him an advantage. He noticed a small flaw in the energy matrix, a repeated pulse that suggested the lock could be bypassed without triggering alarms. Marcus worked quickly, manipulating the panel with precision. With a soft click, the door unlocked, revealing a dimly lit room filled with screens, devices, and data transmitters. The faint glow of energy lines crisscrossed the walls, showing real-time readings from the Queen's chambers, the palace corridors, and even some areas of the city outside. "This is it," Marcus whispered. "This is where they have been watching her." He moved carefully through the room, noting every device, every wire, every screen. Whoever had set this up had a detailed understanding of the palace and the Queen's movements. The level of planning was impressive and dangerous. Marcus realized that this was more than an attempt to harm the Queen. This was a well-planned conspiracy, possibly involving multiple people. On one of the screens, Marcus noticed a faint symbol. It looked like a mark of rank, a badge worn by a specific faction within the station. He leaned closer, studying the symbol. It was rare, used only by high-ranking officials in secret councils. Whoever these conspirators were, they had power and influence. Marcus's mind raced. The Queen had trusted many of these officials, and some had access to sensitive areas. If one of them was involved, confronting them would require evidence, careful planning, and a strategy that would not expose the Queen to further danger. He began tracing the energy lines back to their origins, following the faint pulses through a network of hidden tunnels and maintenance shafts. The path led him to an even older section of the station, a place few remembered. Dust coated the walls and the air was cool and still. Yet the energy traces were alive, pulsating with the same pattern that had caused the Queen to collapse. Marcus moved silently, crouching low to avoid detection. He noticed faint movement ahead. Someone was working on a device similar to the one in the Queen's robes. He crouched behind a support column, watching. Two figures were adjusting circuits, speaking in low tones in a language Marcus partially understood. They discussed the next step in the plan, unaware that Marcus was observing them. Carefully, he memorized their words and their appearance. They wore insignias matching the symbol he had seen on the screen. They were clearly officials with high rank, trusted in the eyes of the Queen, yet involved in a plot against her. Marcus felt a surge of determination. He needed proof, evidence that could be presented to the Queen without alerting them prematurely. He reached into his pack and retrieved a small human recording device. Humans often relied on simple tools, but they were effective. Marcus positioned the recorder discreetly and activated it, capturing their conversation. Every word, every instruction, every plan was recorded. This would be proof, solid and undeniable. The conspirators worked for several more minutes, unaware of Marcus's presence. They spoke of a plan to create chaos within the palace, using the devices to control movements, manipulate energy, and cause distrust among the Queen's advisors. Marcus realized that the Queen's sudden collapse was only the first step in a much larger scheme. As they left the chamber, Marcus remained hidden, waiting for the right moment to move. He knew that confronting them too early could be dangerous. The Queen's safety was his priority, and patience was essential. Humans often succeeded where others failed because they could think ahead, anticipate actions, and act with precision. Once the room was empty, Marcus entered quietly, inspecting the devices left behind. He carefully documented everything, taking notes and sketches. The technology was advanced, but the principles were understandable. Marcus could reverse engineer some of it, at least enough to predict how the conspirators might act next. Returning to the Queen, he explained what he had found. "Your Majesty, the devices are part of a coordinated effort. The people behind this have access to your chambers, your schedule, and even the palace systems. They plan to create chaos and manipulate events to weaken your authority." The Queen's eyes were steady but intense. "Then we must stop them. We cannot allow them to endanger the station or my people." Marcus nodded. "I have recorded evidence and traced the network. We can confront them, but we must do it carefully. Any mistake could make them aware that we are watching. We need a plan that ensures your safety and reveals the truth." The Queen considered this. "Prepare your strategy, Marcus. I will support you and provide access to any records or resources you need. This conspiracy will not succeed." Marcus spent the next day analyzing the recordings and the energy patterns. He identified the conspirators, their ranks, and possible motives. Some sought power within the palace. Others wanted influence over the station's resources. Their plan was clever, but not perfect. Marcus noted weaknesses: reliance on predictable energy patterns, delays in communication, and a dependence on secrecy. Using these weaknesses, he formulated a strategy. First, they would monitor the conspirators without revealing knowledge of the recordings. Second, they would allow one planned action to proceed, but in a controlled environment. Third, when the conspirators made a critical mistake, they would gather irrefutable evidence and confront them publicly. Marcus explained the plan to the Queen. "We will not act until the moment is right. Patience is our greatest advantage. The conspirators believe they are hidden. We will show them that careful observation and human insight can reveal even the most hidden plans." The Queen nodded. "Your methods are unusual, but I trust your judgment. Begin the preparations." Over the following days, Marcus and a small trusted team monitored the conspirators. They observed their movements, recorded their communications, and mapped the flow of energy through the station. Marcus noticed patterns that suggested the conspirators were planning another attempt to manipulate the Queen, likely during a public ceremony. He knew that the station's citizens could not be put at risk. The conspirators' plan, if unchecked, could create panic and destabilize the government. Marcus and the Queen worked quietly to adjust schedules, control access points, and prepare a secure environment. At night, Marcus stood alone in the shadows of the palace balcony, looking out over the glowing city. The floating towers gleamed under the stars, but beneath their beauty, danger lurked. He realized that uncovering the full conspiracy would require courage, cleverness, and the willingness to act decisively when the moment came. He thought of the human qualities that had brought him this far: observation, reasoning, and patience. In a world of advanced alien technology, these simple human skills were powerful. Marcus felt a quiet confidence that with careful planning, they could protect the Queen and reveal the conspirators without unnecessary risk. The next day, Marcus prepared for the first controlled step of his plan. He would allow the conspirators to proceed with a minor action, monitoring every detail and collecting the final pieces of evidence. The Queen trusted him completely, and together, they would expose the network hidden in the shadows of the station. Somewhere in the secret tunnels, the conspirators were unaware that their carefully hidden plans were unraveling. A human guard had noticed every detail, traced the energy patterns, and now held the key to revealing the full truth. The investigation had reached a turning point. Marcus had uncovered the hidden chamber, recorded the conspirators' words, and traced the network. The Queen's life, the stability of the station, and the balance of power now rested on careful observation, patient strategy, and human insight. The shadows held secrets, but Marcus was ready to bring them into the light. The morning light of the floating station barely touched the hidden chamber, where Marcus had been monitoring the conspirators. He reviewed his notes once more, ensuring every detail of their movements and actions was clear. Today would be the day to act, but careful timing was essential. The Queen's safety and the stability of the station depended on it. Marcus knew that confronting the conspirators directly without proof could be dangerous. They were high-ranking officials, skilled in deception and strategy. Yet humans had a unique ability to think differently, to notice small patterns others overlooked. This was Marcus's advantage. The Queen arrived at the observation point, standing beside Marcus quietly. She observed his preparations, her luminous eyes reflecting trust and confidence. "Are you ready?" she asked calmly. Marcus nodded. "Your Majesty, everything is in place. We will allow them to proceed with a minor step of their plan. We will monitor closely, record everything, and gather final proof. Then we confront them in a way that ensures no risk to you or the station." The conspirators had set up a device meant to create a controlled disturbance during the next ceremonial inspection. Marcus had identified the timing, the energy channels, and the exact placement of the device. He had also prepared a subtle intervention to prevent any harm. Hours passed as the conspirators moved through their tasks. Marcus followed from the shadows, observing their every action. One of them adjusted a control panel, another monitored energy readings, and a third whispered instructions. Marcus noted every detail, ready to act at the precise moment. The first attempt to trigger the device began. Lights flickered and the floor panels emitted a low hum. The conspirators believed the Queen would be caught off guard. Marcus stayed alert. Using his knowledge of human technology and careful calculation, he subtly redirected the energy flow through an emergency channel. The device activated but harmlessly. The conspirators were unaware that their plan had been foiled without their knowledge. Marcus continued recording, ensuring that the Queen and he had complete evidence. The conspirators worked for nearly an hour, making adjustments, unaware that their actions were being observed. Marcus noticed small inconsistencies in their methods, signs of tension and uncertainty. Their confidence was beginning to falter. Finally, Marcus decided it was time to confront them. He signaled the Queen to enter the chamber with a few trusted guards. The conspirators were surprised to see the human guard and the Queen appear suddenly. Shock and confusion crossed their faces. Marcus stepped forward, holding the recording device. "Your actions have been observed," he said firmly. "Every step, every attempt to manipulate the Queen and the station has been documented. We have evidence of your conspiracy." The conspirators exchanged worried glances. One of them tried to speak, but the Queen raised her hand, commanding silence. "You have betrayed my trust," she said calmly, but with authority. "Your actions endangered the station and its citizens. Explain yourselves." Marcus played the recording, allowing every word of the conspirators' plan to be heard. Their attempts to control the Queen, manipulate energy systems, and create disorder were clear. There was no room for doubt. The conspirators tried to defend themselves, claiming misunderstandings and false intentions. Marcus countered each statement with observations and documented evidence. Every denial was met with proof. The human guard's patience and careful attention to detail had revealed the full truth. The Queen's expression remained composed. "Your plans have failed," she said. "You underestimated human observation, reasoning, and patience. These qualities, simple yet powerful, have protected me and the station." One of the conspirators stepped forward, desperation in his eyes. "Your Majesty, we were trying to secure power for stability." "We did not intend harm," Marcus shook his head. "Your actions were dangerous. Planning in secrecy and using hidden devices to manipulate events is not stability. It is betrayal. The proof is clear. The Queen's safety was at risk because of you." The Queen considered the statements carefully. Her judgment was swift. All involved will be removed from their positions and placed under supervision until further investigation. The station must remain secure, and trust must be restored. The conspirators were escorted from the chamber, still protesting, yet unable to deny the evidence. Marcus ensured that all data and devices were secured. Every trace of the conspiracy was documented to prevent future attempts. With the immediate threat neutralized, Marcus turned to the Queen. "Your Majesty, the danger is contained. The devices are disabled and the conspirators are under control. The station is safe." The Queen nodded, her luminous eyes reflecting gratitude. "Marcus, your vigilance and human insight have saved the day. I owe you a great debt. The station will remember your courage and wisdom." Marcus felt a quiet satisfaction. He had protected the Queen, uncovered the conspiracy, and ensured the station's safety. Yet he remained humble. Human skill, careful observation, and persistence had made the difference. Strength alone was not enough. Careful reasoning and patience had been essential. In the following days, the Queen restored order within the palace and the station. She praised Marcus publicly, highlighting his role in uncovering the plot. Aliens and humans alike watched as the Queen described how human skill and determination had revealed the hidden conspiracy. Marcus remained modest, focusing on ensuring that the station remained secure. He knew that vigilance was ongoing and that challenges would continue to arise. Yet the human qualities of observation, reasoning, and courage had proven their value in an alien world. The Queen invited Marcus to remain at her side, not as a servant, but as a trusted advisor and protector. "Your skills are unique," she said. "Your human perspective brings clarity and foresight. Stay with me, and together we will guide this station toward a stronger future." Marcus accepted, feeling a deep sense of purpose. The Queen had recognized the value of human insight, and his role had grown beyond guarding her life. He would now contribute to strategy, planning, and maintaining stability within the station. The station itself began to change subtly. Humans were respected for their ingenuity and courage. Marcus's actions became an example of how simple observation, reasoning, and patience could succeed where advanced technology alone could not. The balance of power shifted slightly, not through force but through skill and insight. The conspirators faced careful investigation and were held accountable for their actions. The Queen ensured that trust was rebuilt among her advisors and citizens. Marcus's role in exposing the conspiracy strengthened human standing on the station, earning respect and admiration from both aliens and humans alike. As the sun set over the floating towers, Marcus and the Queen stood together on the palace balcony. The city glowed beneath them, alive with energy and life. The conspiracy had been revealed, but Marcus knew that vigilance was always necessary. Challenges would come and threats would arise. Yet humans, with their unique skills, could face them with courage and intelligence. "Marcus," the Queen said, her voice calm and steady, "your efforts have proven that even in a world full of advanced technology, human insight can change the course of events. I am grateful for your loyalty and wisdom." Marcus bowed slightly. "Your Majesty, it is my honor to serve. Human skill and reasoning are powerful tools, and I will continue to use them to protect you and the station." The Queen smiled, a rare expression of warmth. "Together, we will ensure that this station remains safe and prosperous. Your actions have set an example for all. Humans and aliens can work together, and strength comes not only from power but from understanding and observation." Marcus felt a quiet pride. The danger had been faced, the conspiracy exposed, and the station secured. His human intuition, patience, and careful observation had made the difference. The Queen trusted him, and the citizens of the station would remember the role a human had played in protecting their ruler. As the stars reflected on the floating towers, Marcus realized that his journey was far from over. The station was vast, full of mysteries and challenges. But for now, the immediate threat was gone. The conspirators were neutralized, the devices were disabled, and the Queen's safety was assured. The human guard had proven his worth. Observation, intelligence, and courage had saved the day. And the station, for the first time, truly understood the value of human insight in a universe of advanced technology and powerful beings. Marcus stood silently beside the Queen, watching the city glow with life. In the shadows, the secret of the conspiracy had been revealed. In the light, trust and respect had been restored. And the bond between human and Queen had grown stronger, a symbol of what determination, skill, and loyalty could achieve. The station glimmered under the distant star as Marcus walked through the central square. Citizens moved about their daily routines, but a sense of calm now filled the city. The crisis that had threatened the Queen and the station had been resolved, and life slowly returned to its normal rhythm. Yet Marcus knew that the events of the past days would leave a lasting impact. The Queen had called for a public gathering in the palace courtyard. Citizens, advisors, and visiting dignitaries from other stations assembled. Aliens of all shapes and sizes watched with curiosity as the Queen prepared to address them. Marcus stood beside her, a silent protector and trusted advisor. The Queen's presence commanded attention. Her luminous eyes swept across the crowd, and her voice carried with clarity and strength. "Citizens of the station, recent events have tested our strength and trust. A plot was uncovered that sought to harm me and destabilize our home. Thanks to vigilance, courage, and insight, we have overcome this threat." All eyes turned to Marcus. Whispers spread through the crowd. Humans were rare in this part of the galaxy, yet here was one standing alongside the Queen, recognized and praised publicly. Marcus felt a quiet pride but remained humble. He understood that the focus should be on the safety of the Queen and the station, not personal recognition. Yet he could see that the citizens were witnessing something remarkable. Human skill and reasoning had protected their ruler. The Queen continued, "This human, Marcus, observed details that our technology could not detect. His patience, insight, and careful observation revealed the conspiracy and ensured that none were harmed. Let his example remind us that even in a galaxy of advanced beings, intelligence and courage are invaluable." The crowd erupted in applause. Many aliens had not fully understood the value of human reasoning before, but Marcus's actions demonstrated its power. It was a moment of pride for humanity and a symbol of what could be achieved through careful thought, persistence, and courage. After the public recognition, the Queen addressed the conspirators. They were escorted to the center of the courtyard, their faces showing surprise and discomfort. "You have betrayed the trust placed in you," the Queen said. "Your actions endangered the lives of all. The evidence is clear. You will face justice according to the station's laws and remain under supervision until your motives and actions are fully understood." The conspirators could not deny the evidence Marcus had gathered. Every device, every recording, every observation traced back to them. The citizens watched as justice was served, and trust began to be restored within the station. After the assembly, Marcus and the Queen walked through the palace gardens. The air was fresh, carrying the faint scent of exotic plants that grew in the artificial sunlight. Marcus reflected on the events of the past days. The Queen's sudden collapse, the discovery of the devices, the hidden chamber, and the confrontation with the conspirators. Each step had tested his skills and determination. The Queen spoke softly, her voice filled with appreciation. "Marcus, your actions have not only saved me but strengthened our society. You have shown that humans possess qualities that can achieve what technology alone cannot. Insight, courage, and patience are powerful tools." Marcus nodded. "Your Majesty, it was my duty. Human reasoning may be simple compared to your advanced technology, but careful observation and persistence can reveal truths that others overlook."
"I am honored to serve and to contribute to the safety of this station." The Queen smiled, a rare warmth in her expression.
"Then I ask you to remain by my side, not only as a guard but as an advisor. Your perspective is invaluable. Together we will guide this station toward a future where trust, wisdom, and courage prevail." Marcus accepted, understanding the honor and responsibility placed upon him. Being recognized as an advisor was not a reward of power, but a recognition of skill and trust. Humans, though few in number on this station, could make a profound impact when their abilities were used wisely. In the following weeks, the Queen implemented measures to ensure the security and stability of the station. Trust among advisors was rebuilt, and the citizens grew confident in their leadership. Marcus assisted in monitoring sensitive areas, analyzing unusual signals, and providing insights into potential risks. His human intuition continued to play a critical role, complementing the advanced alien technology of the station. The conspirators were held accountable, their actions documented thoroughly. The Queen ensured that lessons were learned from the incident, and new protocols were established to prevent similar threats. Marcus's careful investigation and planning became a model for future security strategies. Marcus observed the city from the palace balcony one evening. The floating towers reflected the soft light of distant stars, and the streets below hummed with life. He realized that humans could succeed in a galaxy of advanced civilizations by using their unique abilities. Observation, patience, and reasoning could uncover hidden truths and prevent disasters. The Queen joined him, her presence calm and reassuring. "Marcus, the station is stronger because of your actions. Humans are rare here, yet your skills have shown that courage and intellect can change the course of events. I am grateful for your service and trust." Marcus bowed slightly. "Your Majesty, it is an honor to serve. I will continue to protect you and the station, using every skill and insight I have. Together, humans and aliens can achieve more than either could alone." The Queen looked out at the city, then back at Marcus. "Indeed, your presence here is a reminder that strength is not only measured by technology or power, but by wisdom, courage, and careful thought. The station will thrive because of this understanding." Days turned into weeks, and the station returned to its normal rhythm. Citizens resumed their routines, trade and commerce flourished, and the palace became a symbol of stability and trust. Marcus continued to serve as both protector and advisor, his human insight proving invaluable in a world of advanced beings. The Queen's respect for Marcus was evident in every decision she made. She consulted him on matters of security, strategy, and the station's welfare. The citizens recognized the bond between human and ruler, understanding that loyalty, skill, and trust were universal values, not bound by species. Marcus often reflected on the events that had brought him to this position. The Queen's sudden collapse had been the catalyst for a deeper understanding of the station's vulnerabilities. His careful observation and reasoning had prevented disaster, exposed a conspiracy, and strengthened the station's leadership. The station itself had learned a valuable lesson. Technology and power alone could not prevent betrayal or ensure safety. Human qualities, insight, patience, and courage had played a decisive role. Marcus had proven that even a single human could make a significant difference in a galaxy full of powerful beings. One evening, as Marcus walked through the palace gardens with the Queen, she spoke quietly. "Marcus, your actions have shown that humans are capable of extraordinary things. You have earned respect, trust, and honor. The station will remember this for generations." Marcus smiled humbly. "Your Majesty, I only did what was necessary. Observation, reasoning, and patience guided me. Humans may not be numerous here, but we can make a difference when we act wisely." The Queen nodded, "And that difference has changed the course of this station. Together, humans and aliens will build a future based on trust, courage, and understanding. Your example will guide many." As the stars reflected off the towers of the floating city, Marcus felt a quiet satisfaction. The conspiracy had been uncovered, the Queen's safety secured, and the station strengthened. His human insight and careful observation had made the difference, proving that even in a galaxy of advanced civilizations, the qualities of patience, courage, and reasoning were powerful and essential. The Queen and Marcus stood together overlooking the city. The balance had been restored, trust rebuilt, and the bond between human and ruler had grown stronger. In the days ahead, challenges would arise, but Marcus knew that careful observation, intelligence, and loyalty would guide them through any trial. The station glowed beneath them, alive with life and energy. Citizens went about their routines, reassured by the leadership and protection they now understood to be strong and trustworthy. Marcus realized that humans, though few in number, could have a profound impact when their skills were used wisely. The Queen turned to Marcus. "Your service has been invaluable. I trust you not only as a protector, but as a partner in guiding this station. Together we will ensure a future where courage, insight, and wisdom are honored." Marcus bowed respectfully. "Your Majesty, I will continue to serve with all my abilities. Humans can achieve great things, and I will use every skill I have to protect you and the station." The floating towers shimmered under the starlight, a symbol of stability, strength, and unity. The conspiracy was resolved, but the lessons remained. Humans and aliens could work together, each contributing unique strengths, and the station, guided by insight, courage, and careful observation, would thrive for generations. Marcus stood beside the Queen, ready for whatever challenges might come next. The past had tested him, the present had honored him, and the future promised new opportunities to protect, guide, and serve. In a galaxy of advanced civilizations, human courage, reasoning, and patience had made a lasting difference.